over 60, excluding data from 3 laboratories. More than 4,400 patients recovered, 107 others died. Octa research fellow Guido David projects of the fresh cases today, around 400 are from Metro Manila. David earlier said this could go down to around 200 by the end of the month. As the downtrend in COVID-19 cases continue, Filipinos are getting a taste of the new normal with the return of a pre-pandemic trend. Outdoor food markets are booming again in a bid to promote safe dining. Paige Javier gives us a look.
Eating out had a different meaning during life before the pandemic. It would usually mean dining in fancy restaurants. But in the time of COVID-19, it literally means dining outside. Many prefer to eat outdoors since the risk of infection is lower in well-ventilated places.
Presko siya, tsaka open air kasi parang hindi mo feel na may pandemya.
Basta as long naman na nafa-follow naman yung protocol naman, safety protocol yan, naka-face mask naman. Okay, mas feel namin. Tsaka mas enjoy.
Siyempre po, para maka-abide tayo doon sa health protocol. Saka maiwasan natin yung magkakahawaan.
Outdoor food markets are not new in the country, but we're seeing more of them again with relaxed restrictions.
Because al fresco is really more of the way to go right now. People want, to eat in a safe outdoor environment. We've actually grown the market.
Within the busy area of Sampaloc lies this food hub along Cristobal Street. The local government opened this place to help residents earn a living after the pandemic shuttered many businesses and left scores of people jobless.
Actually, during pandemic days, it started with just 2 stalls. And then some ideas pop out na bakit hindi natin i-open yung mga iba na gusto ring maglagay ng stalls. Before, it's just short-term project. Kaso nung naging maganda yung reception and yung results,
masaya po. Kumbaga maraming tao natutulungan. Ngayong pandemic, di ba? Hindi lang ako.
The Cristobal Food Street is open daily from 5 in the afternoon to 12 midnight. Malls are also opening more food markets to encourage eating outside. Mall operators say people are gaining more confidence to dine al fresco. Popular food market Mercato Central says the push for outdoor dining is helping the industry recover. They assure that their food hubs are safe for both customers and sellers.
So one of the main changes which we really made during this time was to make sure that we complied with all the IATF safety protocols and procedures, and that includes the distancing between the booths. They've got their mask, they've got their face shield, they've got their gloves. Of course, we've got our social distancing signs which are in place.
Mercato hopes to put up more outdoor markets to help more small businesses.
We don't see this going away in the near future. In fact, there's been a stronger demand for us to put up more al fresco markets in different parts of Metro Manila.
Paige Javier, CNN Philippines.
The government is behind its target of administering 5 million doses for the 3rd national vaccination drive. Health Undersecretary Mirna Cabotaje says the government has given out 2.6 million vaccines so far. Tomorrow, February 18th, is the last day of the 3rd vaccination drive. The 3rd nationwide inoculation effort was supposed to take place from February 10 to 11, but it was extended until the 18th.
Dalawang araw na lang ngayon at saka bukas, kailangan na paspasan pa. So baka hindi natin maabot yung ating 5 million na target nung dalawang araw sana nung last week, tapos in-extend natin. Medyo hindi pa ganun kabilis ang pagtanggap sa especially the booster. Nakikita nilang important ito, pero kulang yung tinatawag na
this sitting down. Our senior correspondent Anjo Alimario reports.
Police and Bureau of Fire personnel were caught on video taking down tarpaulins of presidential candidate Leni Robredo and running mate Senator Kiko Pangilinan inside the volunteers' headquarters in Isabela. Veteran election lawyer Romulo Macalintal said what the COMELEC did was a clear case of abuse of power.
Kita mo, walang notice, walang hearing, basta lamang pinasok ang bahay. Under the revised penal code, trespass to dwelling. Kinuha yung property. Under the revised penal code, as a rules of court, you cannot seize property without a warrant.
Macalintal explains the campaign posters belong to the owners who posted them on private property. The person affected, he adds, should be properly notified and be given the chance to be heard. He argues the Fair Elections Act used by COMELEC as basis for its Oplan Baklas policy, deeply concerned about what happened.
Itong ganitong klaseng aksyon ng COMELEC, parang may pagpigil nun, di ba? At pag nakita ng mga ibang tao ito, merong tatawag nga natin sa batas chilling effect, di ba? Parang madi-discourage yung ibang tao na magpatuloy ng kanilang kampanya kung meron silang takot na baka pasukin yung kanilang bahay.
Pangilinan says it's illegal and is demanding fairness from the poll body and the police.
Kahit na anong baklas nila, di ba? Mauubos ang oras at panahon nila dahil iaangat at ng taong bayang tumataya at naninindigan ang mga poster na ito.
Macalintal says supporters may refuse entry.
Kahit na meron kang 1,000 granada, 1,000 machine gun sa loob ng bahay mo, hindi pwede pumasok ang pulis without any warrant of arrest, without warrant of seizure. Ayun pa kayang very innocent-looking posters na it does not in any way endanger any interest of the government.
If needed, Gutierrez says they will go to court.
Pinag-aaralan sa kasalukuyan kung posibleng mag-file ng karapat-dapat na kaso para maging mas klaro yung rule dito sa isyong ito.
University of the Philippines Law Group say unduly restrictive regulations may prove unfair to the electorate, and when exercised overzealously, the actions become a form of censorship. They warn that government officials can be held liable for violating constitutional rights. Anjo Alimario, CNN Philippines.
Robredo also said her legal team is ready to assist her supporters in Isabela. Other presidential candidates weigh in on COMELEC's controversial Operation Baklas. The tandem of Senator Ping Lacson and Senate President Tito Soto called on COMELEC to revisit the policy, which Lacson said may have constitutional issues. Meanwhile, Soto warned political opponents can take advantage of the poll body statement. It will hold candidates liable for campaign violations.
May constitutional issue yan, ano? Property ko ito, maski anong gawin ko rito, wag lang nakakasakit ng ibang tao, ba't ito pagbabawalan? Kung yung private property ko, nilagyan ko ng kanyon na nakaumang, nakakapanakot.
By 50 feet na litrato ni Manny Pacquiao. Oh. Ano, disqualify si Manny? Yun ang sinasabi ko eh. Parang ano yan, parang no box, no ride yan eh. Hindi thought of eh. Not well thought of.
For Isko Moreno, owners of private properties have the right to put up posters in support of their chosen candidate, but he notes that shouldn't be abused.
Let's just be vigilant kasi kawawa naman yung kandidato. For example, kawawa naman si Vice President Leni Robredo. Kung tatanggalin mo yung mga poster niya sa private property, diba? Unfair yun kay BP Leni. Unfair yun sa mga kandidato. So sa akin, sunod tayo, ipatupad natin, pero wag natin abusuhin. Pagka kinabit ng mga private entity, a private
has also taken down a billboard endorsing the uni team. Rodriguez commends the poll body for doing its job, provided that it recognizes the right to freedom of expression whenever the posters are within private property or ownership. COMELEC spokesperson James Jimenez has said anyone is free to file a complaint about the policy, but that the poll body would continue to enforce campaign rules. Up ahead, who will presidential candidates pick to lead their anti-corruption drive if they win the elections? And water concessionaire Maynila vows to improve services as interruptions continue until the end of the month. You're watching CNN Philippines. Welcome back to Newsnight, where we go above and beyond the headlines. Water concessionaire Maynila vows to improve its services by next month as thousands of consumers continue to experience service interruptions because of low water supply from Angat Dam and Laguna Lake. Amor Santos has the details.
Residents in Pasay City are dismayed by the lack of water every afternoon. Although advisories are posted on Maynilad's Facebook page, customers say they needed advanced notice.
Kasi nung minsan nag-igib ako, nawala na agad ng tubig. Nagulat ako. Bakit biglang nawala? Dapat nagpaabiso naman lang sila ng maaga para maaga kami nakakaigib.
Nag-iipon na kami. Kasi mag-iisang linggo na na nag-aano ang tubig.
Sa gobyerno, tuunan ng pansin lalo na't eleksyon, tuunan ng pansin ang patubig para sa mga taong bayan.
Aside from 6 barangays in Pasay City, several areas in Parañaque, Manila, and Cavite are experiencing daily water interruptions due to high demand at the Bagbag Reservoir, which gets supply from Angat Dam.
We are managing the quick drawdown kasi we have noticed na mabilis yung pagbaba ng antas ng tubig doon sa ating imbakan. So we're trying to prevent it from getting depleted.
But it's just a drop in the bucket compared to the prolonged service interruptions brought by the high turbidity of raw water from Laguna Lake. State regulator MWSS launched an investigation in January. It said Maynilad's massive supply cuts have greatly inconvenienced customers in Metro Manila and Cavite. Maynilad admits the number of affected accounts reached 245,000 in January, but it's now down to 180,000 as supply improved this month. Maynilad adds it will lift the rotational service interruptions down south by March 1st.
In the turbidity level in Laguna Lake, by March 1, it should be back to normal.
Meanwhile, the concessionaire says treatment plants and deep wells will augment water supply.
kung sakali mang bumaba to a certain level ang Angat Dam pagdating ng April and May, napaghandaan na rin natin ito dahil na kasama na ito doon sa aming projections. And as much as we can help it, we would try to equitably distribute pa rin yung limited supply.
Yung mga mitigation measures namin, tina-target namin na ma-complete na yan and ready for use by April.
Amor Santos, CNN Philippines.
Fighting corruption is a priority for presidential candidates. Who's their pick to lead the anti-corruption drive if they win in the May polls? George Cahiles has that story.
So paano niya ako yapon pag nanalo ko?
That's how Partido Reforma standard-bearer Senator Panfilo Lacson responded to fellow presidential candidate Manila Mayor Isko Moreno's remark that he wants Lacson to be his anti-corruption czar. On Wednesday, Moreno says he needs someone like Lacson to instill discipline in the government.
Si Senator Ping Lacson is an asset of the country. That I guarantee. Kasi meron siyang particular skill set na kapaki-pakinabang para sugpuin yung isang suliranin ng ating pamayanan.
Lacson says he is thankful that Moreno recognizes his crusade against corruption. But when asked if the mayor has a place in his cabinet should he win in the May polls,
Focus muna kami sa paano manalo bago kami mag-isip ng mga ya-appoint.
another presidential candidate, Senator Manny Pacquiao, says he will consider Sibak Party List and Jesus is Lord Church founder, Brother Eddie Villanueva, as his anti-corruption czar if he will win. Pacquiao says Villanueva is ideal for the job since he is God-fearing. Pacquiao's camp earlier said that they are expecting Villanueva's endorsement soon.
May nakausap kami ni Brother Eddie Villanueva at gustong-gusto ko yun yung plano niya about sa pagsugpo ng korupsyon. At kung sakaling ako ay manalo ng pagkapangulo, naway tanggapin niya ang aking panyaya na gawin ko siyang magiging head o sa campaign dito against the corruption.
Vice President Leni Robredo, meanwhile, says she has no name in mind yet, but she wants a qualified, a well-respected person to lead her anti-corruption campaign. CNN Philippines is still trying to reach the camp of former Senator Bongbong Marcos, but the son of the late dictator earlier said that he intends to strengthen the Presidential Commission on Good Government, or PCGG, the agency mandated to recover his family's ill-gotten wealth. As of March 2021, the PCGG has recovered more than 174 billion pesos from the Marcoses and their cronies. George Cahiles, CNN Philippines.
The CNN Philippines vice presidential and presidential debates are officially a go. The network, the University of Santo Tomas, and Microsoft Philippines signed a partnership agreement to conduct the debates on February 26th and 27th. CNN Philippines President Benjamin Ramos thanked UST and Microsoft Philippines for their support to make this historic event possible. This marks the third partnership of UST and CNN Philippines. Meanwhile, Microsoft Philippines will use state-of-the-art technology for CNN Philippines' first debate with a virtual audience.
No doubt, this partnership will have forged and strengthens our common view of the value and relevance of these debates. CNN Philippines will be accurate, fair, and balanced as we ask questions that are uppermost in the minds of Filipinos.
By entering into an MOA with CNN, we commit to the vision of our founder to spreading the light of truth and promoting human dignity, freedom, justice for all Filipinos.
We are grateful and privileged to be part of such an incredible moment in our nation's history.
Again, catch the CNN Philippines vice presidential debate on February 26th. Saturday at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, hosted by Rico Hizon and Ruth Cabal, and the presidential debate on the 27th of February, Sunday, hosted by Pinky Webb and yours truly. When we come back on Newsnight, it is Alaska versus rain or shine in tonight's PBA game. The Aces are appearing for the first match a day after announcing they are leaving the league at the conclusion of the ongoing Governor's Cup. Plus, Blues Clues is giving fans from different generations an exciting reunion. Details after the break. Welcome back to CNN Philippines. Alaska is playing against rain or shine in the Governor's Cup tonight. Their first game since announcing this will be their last season after 35 years in the PBA. How are the players handling the news, facing their final run in the league as Alaska Aces? We get details now from Pauline Versosa, joining us live from the Araneta Coliseum. Pauline?
Yes, Pia. Well, you know, Alaska players are calling the remaining days in the PBA as their last dance. And players say they are determined to make it a memorable one by going for that 15th championship. Pia, ahead of today's match, we were able to catch up with key players Jeron Teng and Mike De Gregorio, and they share that even they were shocked when they learned about the news yesterday when team owner Fred Uitengso announced that the franchise is officially leaving the league after 35 seasons. But, you know, this team also shared, Pia, that they are turning this into added motivation.
Of course, we were really shocked and saddened by the news because, especially for me, it's been my home for the last 4 years. So we're just glad for this opportunity that we have 6 more games. And as players, it's our job to really do our best and hopefully, you know, make the management proud. For all the fans na since 90s pa lang, 80s, so we want to do it for all those guys.
Obviously, we want to honor the past teams and what they did, but just focus on the present and try to take care of what's in front of us. The expectations for the team is the same. So I think, you know, whether fans, no fans, obviously it's exciting to have the fans back, but the expectation is to win the game and to play together and to play hard and to try and get the 15th ring for Alaska.
Well, Pia, the Alaska Aces are now going for their 4th win in the PBA Governor's Cup as they are now facing the rain or shine Alaska Painters. The teams are tied at 39 at halftime. And Alaska, you know, is currently tied at 4th in the standings with Barangay Ginebra with 3 wins and 2 losses. But like what the players said, they are really determined to get every win that they can in their last 6 remaining games in the elimination round in the hope of extending their season and hopefully getting a playoff spot before they finally bid the PBA goodbye. Pia.
Paui, tell us what is it like there at the Araneta Coliseum, the atmosphere, the vibe?
Well, for now, Pia, we are seeing a small crowd here in Araneta Coliseum. It was yesterday when the PBA finally opened its doors once again to fans after a 2-month break because of the surge of COVID-19 cases. The venue capacity now is still at 50% with only the lower and upper box seats available. So that's just about around 3,000 to 4,000 spectators. But PBA officials are anticipating that gate attendance will increase in the next few days as the Governor's Cup draws closer to the playoffs. But good news for fans because ticket prices are still at 50% off, so they can avail this until further notice. Pia.
Pauline Versosa there reporting from the Araneta Coliseum. Now, in the movies, people who grew up with Blue's Clues are bound to love this new film, bringing back the show's hosts throughout the years. Steve and Joe are joining Josh and Blue in New York for Blue's Big City Adventure. The movie's release date has yet to be announced, but it will stream on Paramount+. Filipino Joshua De La Cruz is the first Asian American to host the popular Nickelodeon series. And that is it for now. Join me again on News.ph at 7 p.m. I'm Pia Hontiveros for Newsnight, where we go above and beyond the headlines.
This program is brought to you by
The road to 2022 is bound to be, or already is, rough and wild. Since day one of the election season, Filipinos witness how the campaign, once democracy at its finest, turns into some form of entertainment. And politicians who aspire to rule a country plagued by poverty gladly partaking in the circus of their own doing. In this manic race to power, it is not surprising that a handful of senatorial candidates appear in more than 2 slates under setting aside differences to put up a new image or just maybe their true face after all. As we inch closer to May 9, one might wonder, could this political spectacle get any better? Good evening, I'm Pia Hontiveros. Welcome to your weekly political appointment fix. Politics as usual, the tandem of Senator Ping Lacson and Senate President Tito Sotto setting the record straight on the inclusion of Senator Dick Gordon and former Vice President Jejomar Binay in their senatorial lineup. But why is there confusion? Well, let's begin by looking into each tandem's senatorial slate or lineup. And what we have here on the screen behind me is, well, the 2022 senatorial slates, and we're going to go one by one. No? We're going to go through the slates of Ping Lacson, Tito Sotto, Manny Pacquiao, Lito Atienza, Bongbong Marcos, Sara Duterte, Isko Moreno Dumagoso, Willie Ong, Leni Robredo, Kiko Pangilinan, and Walden de Guzman. And I'm sorry, not Walden de Guzman. I'm sorry, Leody de Guzman and Walden Bello. Sorry about that. Let's begin with the Lacson Sotto slate. We're going to show you just the names on their senatorial slate. The Pacquiao Atienza senatorial slate, Marcos Duterte, Moreno Ong, Robredo Pangilinan, and the Leody de Guzman, Walden Bello slates. Now, under these, like I said, are a column of their senatorial candidates, and we're going to show you who are on not just one, but multiple slates. In a way, talagang pinag-aagawan sila. So we're going to begin with Lauren Legarda. Now, when I click on a name, you're going to see these names appear on in other columns in the same color background. So Lauren Legarda, also in the Pacquiao Atienza slate and the Marcos Duterte slate. So pare-pareho lang ang kulay. Yun ang tingnan nyo na lang, okay, the colors. Also, JV Ejercito appearing in 2 slates. Cheese Escudero appearing in 3 slates, Herbert Bautista appearing in 2 slates, Sharon Gatchalian in 3 slates, Joel Villanueva in 3 slates, Gregorio Onasan in 2, Mig Zubiri in 4, Rafi Tulfo, who is leading the surveys, in the latest Pulse Asia survey specifically, appearing in 2 slates, Richard or Dick Gordon in 3 slates, and Jojo Binay in 3 slates. Now, we'd also like to show you the Robredo, Pangilinan, and the De Guzman Bello slates that have 4 common candidates, and that would be Hontiveros, De Lima, Matula, and Diokno, Chel Diokno, appearing in both these slates. Now, we just want to show you how some of these slates are, nag-overlap or overlapping. And I did mention Mig Zubiri a while ago. Siya na yung parang naka-jackpot because he appears on 4 slates, Mig Zubiri. Now, our correspondent, George Quiles, is going to share with us the latest on the Lacson-Soto senatorial bets. George, what went wrong, and are they going to go right already?
Well, Pia, as far as presidential candidate Senator Panfilo Lacson is concerned, former Vice President Jejomar Binay and Senator Richard Gordon are still part of their senatorial slate. Lacson says Binay and Gordon are true to their gentleman's agreement that they will not endorse their rival candidates. But Vice Presidential candidate Senate President Tito Soto is singing a different tune, saying that they have yet to decide if they will endorse the senatorial bids of both Binay and Gordon. Soto says there's no communication with the camp of Binay for some time now, while Gordon is active in joining campaign activities of Vice President Leni Robredo. If we are to follow Soto's opinion on the matter, they are now endorsing 11 candidates. Former PNP Chief Guillermo Eleazar, former Makati Representative Monsur del Rosario, ophthalmologist Dr. Miguita Padilla, former Agriculture Secretary Manny Piñol, former Senators J.B. Ejercito, Lauren Leganda, Chis Codero, and Gringo Onasan, Senators Mig Zubiri and Joel Villanueva, and broadcaster Rafi Tulfo. The duo initially endorsed 15 candidates, but as the campaign season kicked off last week, they withdrew their endorsement for Senator Win Gatchalian and former Quezon City Mayor Herbert Bautista. Both Gatchalian and Bautista are Soto's party mate in the Nationalist People's Coalition, both openly endorsed the Bongbong Marcos Sara Independent.
Ang sinasabi namin, we are endorsing a number of names for the senatorial slate, you know? And later on, we have already trimmed it down. So as of now, officially, we are endorsing 11. Ano? Nagkataon lang na 11 pa lang sila ngayon, but we're endorsing them. Gusto namin silang maging mga senador, ang tingin namin magiging mga magaling sila. Ang maganda lang dito sa 11 na to, hindi sila committed sa kung sinong presidente or sinong vice-presidente. Hindi sila officially nagsasabi na ito ang aking presidente or aking vice-presidente. As a matter of fact, some of them have even announced that they are supporting Senator Lacson and myself.
Binay, in a statement, clarifies that he did not apply to be part of the Lacson-Soto senatorial slate, but he is thankful for the endorsement. He said that he honors a gentleman's agreement. As regards to Senator Gordon, we have yet to get a word from him. Back to you, Pia.
Yeah, well, George, like you were saying, Jojo Binay, he is number 8 in the Pulse Asia survey. That's his ranking. And yeah, Binay, number 8. All right. And of course, you mentioned Herbert Bautista. He is number 15 so far with 26.8% in the latest Pulse Asia survey taken in late January. We're going to be speaking to him in the latter part of the show. Thank you very much, George Quiles there reporting. We'll be back after a quick break. Stay tuned. This is Politics as Usual. Welcome back. This is Politics as Usual. Our guest now, senatorial candidate Herbert Bautista, who appears in 2 senatorial slates, that of the
Lacson-Soto tandem and the Marcos-Duterte tandem. He is also, as he says, representing the Nationalist People's Coalition in the Marcos-Duterte slate. Former Mayor of Quezon City, Herbert Bautista. Sir, thank you very much for joining us tonight. So, can you tell us ano ba talaga what is going on? You joined the Marcos Duterte senatorial slate at hindi ka naman daw pinapaalis ni Senator Ping and Tito Sen. So what is the real score?
Yeah, good evening sa mga nanonood sa atin ng pagkakataon po ito. October 8, nag-file ng candidacy. And then I belong to the party ng Nationalist People's Coalition. And then as the pre-campaign moved forward, nung umandar na siya, somewhere around December, first week of December or second week of December, si Mayor Sara Duterte endorsed me to be part of the senatorial slate that she would like to endorse, like to support. So right then and there, sumulat kagad ako sa NPC leadership kay Chairman Tito Soto, kay Senate President, at kay Senator Ping Lacson, informing them that I have been endorsed by no less than Vice Presidential candidate Sara Duterte. And then dapat may meeting kami ng January ng NPC to thresh things out. Unfortunately, hindi nangyari because of Omicron. And then as the days move forward, palapit na ng palapit yung Feb 8 para doon sa proclamation rally. Sumulat ako ngayon ulit kay Senator Tito Soto at sa liderato ng NPC. At sabi ko doon na pwede ba akong maging representante ng NPC sa unit team ni Presidential Candidate Bongbong Marcos and Vice Presidential Candidate Sara Duterte. Total, 15 naman kami dyan sa Lacson-Soto tandem. I'd like to note also that the Senator Lacson and Senator Tito Soto or Senate President Tito Soto, yung kanilang arrangement does not have a formal or official arrangement between two parties where they do belong. No? So parang okay, kung 15 naman kami dyan, nagpapaalam po ako sa Nationalist People's Coalition kung pwede bang dito naman sa unit team, dito ako magre-represent ng NPC. Unfortunately, hindi sila sumagot kagad dahil lahat naman busy na for the proclamation rally. Kaya, I went there and I decided to really officially join si Senator Bongbong Marcos for President and Mayor Sara Duterte for Vice President.
And that's why, like you said, you just went ahead and joined the Feb 8 proclamation rally at Philippine Arena. So hindi ka na, in other words, you have formally withdrawn from the slate of Ping and Tito Sen.
Yes, because the tone of my letter is if I will be allowed or kung pwede ba ako mag-represent ng party, NPC, dito sa unity. Senator Lacson could not answer that directly because he's not part of the NPC. No less than Senator Tito Soto, the Senate President, chairman namin, should be the one to answer that. So, ako naman, I think this is one of the reasons why there is may mga common candidates ang lahat ng mga tandems or coalitions. It's because of the flow, yung hindi magandang sitwasyon ng political party system natin dito sa ating bansa.
Hindi magandang sistema, pero I mean, wala naman talagang, what else is new? No one takes political parties seriously in this country. Least of all, kayong mga politiko, hindi ba? I mean, that's the reason why so many of you just jump from party to party. And, I mean, what makes one party different from another? Do you agree?
Yeah, pag sinabi mo nung araw, 1935, or at least pre-martial law, pag sinabi mong Liberal Party or Nationalista Party, malinaw na malinaw yung party lines doon. Pati yung mga prinsipyo, pati yung kanilang mga plataforma de gobyerno, malinaw yun. Both martial law and 1987 Constitution, medyo lumaki yun. Lumawak na yung kaguluhan dyan because of the fact that multi-party system tayo with the idea at that time na magkakaroon tayo ng parliament. But unfortunately, doon sa Constitutional Commission, sa convention, nanaigang multi-party, four supposed to be parliamentary or unicameral, but eventually ang naaprubahan ay yung bicameral system natin. Na I think medyo malabo mangyari magkaroon ng multi-party sa isang bicameral system.
Hindi lang multi-party system because every election, depende sa kung sino yung manalong presidente, yung partido niya ang magiging ruling party and therefore everybody jumps over, right? To his party. Right, and we've seen that happen every election. Anyway, Mayor Herbert Bautista, we're going to continue this discussion in just a bit. We just need to take a very quick break. More from former Mayor and senatorial candidate Herbert Bautista in just a bit. This is Politics as Usual. We're on our final stretch, still with our senatorial candidate Herbert Bautista, who is a three-term mayor of Quezon City. Mayor Bautista, thank you very much again for staying with us on the show here in Politics as Usual. Kanina pinag-usapan natin yung multi-party system, bicameral Congress, at nagiging problema talaga ito. And that's why also you have so many people running for president, and therefore ang daming pinag-aagawan na mga senatorial candidates. So ano dapat ba talaga ang solusyon dito as far as you're concerned?
Well, I think pwede naman i-supplement yan that, without actually changing the Constitution, a law can be passed to supplement it. Para iklaro lang, no? Na okay, pagdating sa unang political party system, ayusin. Because that's the start of a democracy. Ano muna yung political party, ano yung principles niya, ano yung mga dapat niya gawin. And then, eventually, supplement din natin siguro yung mga qualifications. Pagka-presidente, minimum requirement yung nasa Constitution, pero meron din batas na nagsasabi na ito naman yung mga iba pang mga requirements for president, vice president, for senators, etc. etc. So para talagang klarong-klaro kung ano talaga at sino mga qualified na kandidato.
Requirements? What do you mean? Dagdagan natin yung requirements for president and VP?
Lahat siguro, lahat para sa akin. Dahil mahirap naman kasi alam mo yung kinopya lang natin yan sa 1935 Constitution, yung able to read and write, yung kailangan 40 years old ka, kailangan ganito ka, 10 years kang resident. I mean, kinopya lang natin yun sa earlier. Iba na yung condition ngayon sa Pilipinas eh. 21st century na ito, marami na nakapagtapos actually. Even if you look at the provinces, yung mga naunang mga ninuno ng mga political families mga aral na rin ngayon. No? Yung mga qualified na rin talaga. At saka iba na rin ang perspective ng kanilang governance at paningin sa politika.
Yeah. So what specific additional requirements should we have for president, for example?
Ano no?
What specific additional requirements should we have for a presidential candidate?
Well, I think si Senator the late Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago added a qualification for presidential candidate, 'di ba? Parang ang parang reasoning pa nga nun, kapag ikaw ay kukuha ng NBI trabaho, kailangan meron kang qualification, di ba? Meron kang maraming permit, maraming professional clearances or licenses, di ba? So I guess Congress can do something about it, supplementing what is written.
Right now, Mayor Herbert, you are number 15 in the latest Pulse Asia survey that was done in late January, late last month. Number 15 with 26.8%, if I'm not mistaken, yes, in this survey, within striking distance, of course, of the top 12. What would you attribute this ranking to?
Well, I guess I've been president of the League of Cities of the Philippines. That's about a 3-year term. I've been president of the National Movement of Young Legislators. I've been regional president of NMYL, for Vice Mayor's League. I've not done the rounds all over the country. I attribute that also to perhaps my accomplishment in Quezon City as mayor from 2010 to 2019. And my legislative work in Quezon City, like siguro mga 12 years na vice mayor and 6 years na konsehal, pati konsehal ng kabataan. No? So So naikot ko na yung, alam na ng mga tao siguro yung aking background. So yun, and then
Nakalimutan
alam
mo
din
yung
siguro
showbiz.
tayong master's degree, isa sa UP, tsaka isa sa National Defense College of the Philippines. So lagay ko, malaking bagay po yun.
Yung showbiz. Diba?
Factor yun. Malaking factor yun. Mamaya may surprise ako sa iyo. Pero
let's save it for last. Let's save it for last. Okay. Pero right now, Mayor, you are in up north because you have a sort in Ilocos Norte tomorrow, right? Can you talk about that just for a while?
Meron kaming motorcade and rallies. We'll start in Pagudpod in Ilocos Norte and then down to Paway for the meeting with the mayors and of course a rally sa gabi. And then kinabukasan punta kami ng Ilocos Sur, hosted by former Governor and now Mayor Chavit Singson. And then down the line, papuntang Pangasinan, hanggang makarating kami ng Zambales, Bataan, Pampanga, and back to Metro Manila.
Do you think you're going to make it? Kanina pinag-usapan natin yung survey sa number 15. Do you think you're going to make it?
Well, ang sa akin naman, I'm offering myself. Inaalay ko yung aking sarili sa serbisyo. Tapos na yung aking chapter sa local governance for about 30 or 33 years in Quezon City Service. I'd like to offer myself as an alternative. Bagong muka sa bagong Senado 2022. So yun yung aking inaalok. May karanasan, meron naman tinapos, artista.
Artista na naman. Okay, Mayor Herbert, in this Zoom age, one of the things people ask is, hindi lang yung, can you hear me? It's also, what are you wearing, di ba? And,
yes.
Well, you are in your hotel room, no? And, of course, ang ganda ng top mo, no? Pero, kanina nga I was asking, before the show started, ano bang suit mo sa baba?
Pakita ko.
Sige, tingnan natin kung tataas ang ranking mo sa survey or bababa. Sige. Okay. Naka-shorts talaga. At chinelas. Okay. And my final question, Mayor Herbert Bautista, running for senator with the Marcos Duterte tandem. You turn 54 3 days after the May 9 elections, correct?
Yes.
And you are hoping that you will make it.
Well, with everybody's help and prayers, yes.
Okay, final words?
Thank you, Pia, for the opportunity. And, I'm offering myself, inaalay ko po yung sarili ko sa serbisyo ng ating bansa bilang senador. Kandidato po ako, senador, number 8 po, under Uniteam, under Presidential Candidate Bongbong Marcos and Vice Presidential Candidate Sara Duterte. Maraming salamat po sa kanilang dalawa dahil sila po yung nagtiwala sa aking kakayahan. Hindi po ito yung pagpili na, sige, para maalis natin siya sa Quezon City at hindi para magkagulo na ron. Hindi po. Ito po ay kinuha nila ako dahil naniniwala sila sa akin.
At may isa pang pahabol na tanong pala, Mayor Herbert, no? Do you agree with the decision of Senator Marcos na hindi siya lalahok sa mga debate? Halimbawa, yung our own debate, Feb 27, CNN Philippines, hindi siya pupunta. Hindi rin siya sumipot doon sa Jessica So interviews ng GMA. Hindi siya pumunta sa KBP's Presidential Forum. Do you agree with that? Tama ba yan? Tama ba yung strategy na yan? Kumbaga, is it the less talk, less mistake? Number 1 na siya, protect the lead. Therefore, huwag ka na lang magsalita, huwag ka na makipag-away sa mga karibal mo.
Well, siyempre ako, I don't agree sa ganung strategy. Pero kasi, marami ng platform para pwede niyang sabihin yung lahat ng gusto niya, yung mga balak niya in detail because of social media. So I guess that is his option as a candidate. Option niyang umattend, option niyang hindi umattend. So nasa kanyang diskarte yan kung paano. And I think it's a very effective so far because he has maintained his ranking as number 1 with 64% in the surveys.
Herbert Bautista, former Quezon City Mayor for 3 terms, a senatorial candidate on the Marcos Duterte tandem senatorial slate, and also so far number 15 in the latest Pulse Asia survey rankings. Maraming salamat po sa inyo, sir. We've been told before, don't talk politics at the dinner table or the family reunion or in Viber groups and risk digital warfare, but we can talk about it here at this table on this show, your weekly political appointment fix, politics as usual. I'm Pia Hontiveros. See you back here next Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. The road to 2022 is bound to be, or already is,
Sa pagpili ng liderato, laging tatandaan, dapat nasa kanya lahat ng katangian na maka-Pilipinas. Taong may respeto sa buhay at pamilya, makabuluhan at matinoong pamumuhay. Siya yung makapagtataguyod ng kabutihang panlahat, di mangiiwan, makakasama ang lahat. Malinaw ang pananaw sa makabagong bukas, makatwiran at patas pakisama, at higit sa lahat, maka-Diyos siya dapat. Sa pagpili ng liderato, laging tatandaan, dapat nasa kanya lahat ng katangian, ang maka-Pilipinas, maka-Pilipinas.
Gabayan ng Pilipinong bumoto ng responsable. Yan naman ang aming
Panatang Maka-Pilipinas.
Iboboto ko, Maka-Pilipinas.
Makabayan sa lupang sinilangan.
Makataot may respeto sa buhay at pamilya.
Siya ay makatwiran at patas makisama.
Masigasig tumulong makaahon ang bawat isa.
Makatarungan, makalingat, maalalahanin sa kapwa.
Makakasama ang lahat, siya'y di mangiiwan.
Siya ay makapagtataguyod ng kabutihang panlahat.
Siya ay makabatas.
Siya ay makatotoo.
Siya ay may malinaw na pananaw para sa makabagong bukas.
Higit sa lahat, siya ay maka-Diyos.
Kaya't ayaw niya ng karahasan, siya'y makakapayapaan.
Iboboto ko ang isang tao na makakalayaan.
Isang leader na makakalikasan.
Isang Pilipinong makabuluhan at matino ang pamumuhay.
Sa isip, sa salita, at sa gawa.
Gabayan ang Pilipinong bumoto ng responsable. Yan naman ang aming panata sa PPCRV.
A first on radio, DZKI-IRIGA welcomes CNN Philippines
to bring you the latest news you can use, news you can trust. Listen to Newsnight, weekdays, 6 p.m.
We now go above and beyond the headlines,
followed by Med Talk, Health Talk.
We'll talk about how to keep ourselves healthy during the pandemic.
Politics as usual.
In this country, not everything really goes according to plan, and politics is as usual.
Up close and more. Catch CNN Philippines Hour on DZKI-IRIGA. Weekdays, 6 to 7 p.m.
Ay, Insyo, madya daw din kakiat.
CNN Philippines Hour sa RPN-DZKI-IRIGA alas 6 hasta alas 7 ng manggi, Lunes hanggang Biyernes. CNN Philippines Hour.